Welcome to Surviving Roots, the podcast where we navigate the messy, beautiful work of healing and growth. I'm your host, Carrie Fund, and this is your space to breathe, reflect, and find strength. Whether you're breaking free from old patterns, healing from loss, or rebuilding your story one small step at a time, you're in the right place. So take a deep breath, give yourself this time, and let's uncover the tools to move forward with courage. This podcast is for you. Today's guest is the radiant, real, and unstoppable Tracy Campoli, a wellness expert, fitness guru, and digital mentor to hundreds of thousands of women worldwide. With over 25 years in the health and wellness industry, Tracy is on a mission to help women look and feel their best without crash diets, boot camp misery, or toxic wellness culture. Tracy is the creator of a thriving online community that's helped over 300,000 women get fit, energized, and confident at any age. And yes, she's proof that 50 is fierce. When she's not coaching clients or building her programs, you'll find her chasing after her little girl, watching reality TV, or sipping vino like a true queen. Get ready for an honest and empowering conversation about aging beyond gracefully, finding your rhythm in motherhood and career, and ditching the health trends that make you feel like you're not enough. Tracy, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. What an intro. I'm
Well,
like
I
blushing.
mean, what a woman you are.
Thank you.
Let's just be honest.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Okay, so I'm all about surviving roots, and I just have to know first things first. Has this always been you? Were you always this confident, vibrant version of Tracy?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, I think, with age, right, we step more into ourselves. I always had like a mission. I've been a trainer since I was 25, and like I was the kid, like, do you remember like the morning workout shows like Gilad?
Yes.
Okay, I used to do them before school and like 10 years old. Like,
Oh my
and just because
gosh.
I like to move, I was always about like exercise. I loved fitness, from a very, very young age. I was a dancer, but incredibly insecure, like I was very like jealous, manifested a lot in like relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like if another woman was like very pretty, I would like shut down, as opposed to like now I'm like, oh my God, you're amazing, So I
Yeah.
think there's a lot to unpack there, but I think that's certainly age and also choosing the right relationship,
Yeah.
that makes you feel
Yeah.
safe and confident and all of that.
I find it so interesting, and I have this talk all the time with people, and I think maybe you just get wiser as you get older. But like, isn't it interesting? Like, I would never look at you, even like as a younger version of yourself, thinking you were insecure whatsoever. And I think it's so interesting, the stories that we tell ourselves when we see other women or other people, like, oh, well, look at her. She does this, she has that, she looks like this. But I know people used to think that about me in my 20s, and I was at my most insecure, highest of my eating disorder, like low self-esteem. And it's so interesting, the stories that we tell ourselves, and by comparing ourselves to other people.
Crazy. I mean, same, absolutely the same. And like, to the point where when someone would be like, oh, you're really pretty, my inner dialogue was like, oh, you don't think I'm smart. What?
Where does this come from?
I don't know, but I'm so glad that, but
Yeah.
that was probably one of the last ones to like go.
Yeah.
Was like being able to like, if someone's like, oh, you're pretty, to be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have anything to do with it. Thanks, mom and dad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like also like, thank you.
Yeah. And so how did it shift for you? When did it start to shift for you?
I got really into like personal development. Probably when I was about 20. I hired my first life coach when I was like 24.
Girl, you're on it.
I was on it. I was also like not on it. I was so not on it. I was like, I need help. And I didn't know what that looked like. And I'm Italian American, so therapy is like not a thing, like at all. It's like, yeah, you're fine. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're fine. So that, that's kind of how I grew up. And so I had a Pilates student who hired a life coach, and she like got a new relationship, was like super happy, and like all these changes real fast. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but whatever that is, I'm doing that. So that's really when things started changing, and also being able to like examine your thoughts.
Yeah.
Is this even mine? Did it come from my family, generational stuff? Now like the research of, how the trauma goes back.
Oh, it's like 7 years.
Yeah, 7 generations.
Yeah, 7 generations, I mean.
It's
a lot.
So we all got some stuff.
We all have some
to
stuff.
work on.
But you know what? I think what you're mentioning is really just self-awareness.
Yeah.
And then making the choice to like get control of it.
Yeah.
Make a change.
Also just like, I was like, I want a big life.
Yeah.
You know what I
love
mean?
that.
Like I was like, I grew up in a very small town in Massachusetts, very bored. I was just a bored kid. I was like, this isn't for me. I saw Fame and was like, that's it. That's my life path. Like I am going to dance on taxi cabs. And I literally did that. I'm going to live in New York. I'm going to be a dancer. I did it. Like, and then I was like, okay, now what? You know what I mean?
God.
It's crazy.
I love that. Do you think I grew up in a very small town too, like one stoplight, 10,000 people. Oof. Like a cruise ship kind of size town. And I just remember being in high school, college, and I was like watching like Carolyn Bessette and the Kennedys walk through Tribeca, and I was watching all this New York City life, and I was just like, I'm gonna go there.
Yes.
I'm gonna go there, and I'm just gonna, I don't know, do something big, do something different.
And you did.
Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing. It's wild. I mean, my 5.5 is like, I'm gonna live in New York, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Probably will.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
I get it.
Do you think?
Well, we got to jump in because it is June, it is summertime, and you are like the key to the kingdom when it comes to fitness, mental sort of health, positive body image, confidence, total body transformation. So I just want to jump in and start with, what are some of your favorite rituals that you use to feel strong and centered and confident? Tell us.
Ooh, that's so good. Number one is, who do you hang out with? Who do you hang out with? Who are you spending time with? That's huge, though.
Yeah.
And I think I moved as an adult. I was like 44, I think, when I moved to Miami, and I didn't know anyone. I did not have a single friend here.
Okay.
And that was great. It was just great. I have wonderful old friends that have been my friends since college, and but quite honestly, our lives have changed drastically. I'm the only one with a child. I'm the only one that runs their own business. It's just different. So it's such a gift. So who you hang out with, that's a huge thing. Movement every day. Like, yes, every day. People are like, like 3 times. No, you should move. It doesn't mean you have to work out every day. But like, you should move your body every day. We're humans. We are not supposed to be sitting. I don't know about you, but I feel worse, like mentally and certainly physically at 50. Like, if I'm sitting too long, I'll like be like, oh, that feels like sciatica. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no. I am not signing up for that. So movement every day, and even like 30 minutes. That's fantastic, prioritizing muscle tone. That's been listen, can I swear?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
You can fucking swear.
Okay, great. This shit is real.
Yeah.
Like, it is real. I'm not here to scare people, but like, after 40, like, you really have to work to preserve your muscles.
Yeah.
I was like, I had like a 6-pack without like doing much in my 20s. You know what I do not have anymore? A pack. There's not a pack. Like, I'm strong. I'm very fit. I'm very strong. But like, it takes a lot of work. So prioritizing protein, prioritizing, strength training. I'm not a heavy lifter. I get a lot of, crap online about that. I don't lift heavy. I do Pilates twice a week on the Reformer.
Okay.
But, you gotta, if you don't move it, you lose it, it's really important.
Yeah. I never really believed that whole myth about muscle loss. But I get it now. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's real. You have to and in my experience, even as someone whose like job is fitness.
Yeah.
If you have an injury or you're off, it's just it's not that you can always improve at any age.
Okay.
Any age. I mean, I used to have clients that were like in their 80s, but you have to be committed.
Yeah.
You have to move.
I like that you say the word movement and then working out, because I used to think all movement was just like working out. And sometimes working out, you just don't feel like it. You're not in the mood. It feels like another thing to do. Totally. So when you say movement, what's considered movement?
Walking. Cleaning up around your house. I mean, really walking is the biggest thing. But also don't discount dancing around with your family. You know what I mean? Like, we're a very dancey family. I mean, at least my daughter and I. My husband's usually like, what are you guys doing? But that's still movement, and that for me, being an older mom, hugely important. You know, I had her when I was almost 45 years old. So I'm like, I don't want to be her old mom that can't do stuff. So I'm like, so I have like so much more commitment to just staying fit, staying agile, staying flexible, you know, staying with like a youthful energy so that I have the energy for her.
It seems like you still have a lot of energy, like you mentioned, since you were a kid. What's the recipe for that?
Oh, man.
Well, you know, there's a lot of wellness myths and trends going on. It seems like especially millennials and people today, they get everything from social media without really researching it. What is one wellness myth or trend that you see all over social media right now and it just makes you roll your eyes?
I'm not a cold plunger.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry. And I know that there's benefits. So I'm not saying it's not beneficial. I also don't, and I don't recommend intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
So those are two biggies. Like, I know you asked for one, but like, I'm going to just put
These
my
are
stake
two
in.
very popular.
I think the cold plunging, I hate the cold. I hate the cold. I grew up in Massachusetts. I've been cold my entire life. I do not need any more cold.
Yeah.
I will sometimes, if I'm feeling a little cray-cray, like do like a 30-second little cold rinse in my shower. Don't invite me to go in your cold plunge. I'm gonna say no. Like, it's not my thing. And intermittent fasting, which I used to do.
Yeah.
After I had my daughter, my body was literally like, no. I was in perimenopause. Well, yeah, I was in perimenopause. I had a child, and it was like, I need food. I need to eat in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, now, granted, it's a little bit different, but I think that we, especially with social media, we forget that you have a voice and you have an inner knowing. And if you're hungry, I don't know, how about you eat? Eat something healthy. Like, get some protein in your body, you know? Like, you don't need to muscle it because some uncredentialed, you know, person on the interwebs said that you should do this. And I get it, it's sexy marketing, but a lot of it's a lot of BS.
I love that you say that. And
especially for women.
I love that you say that. And I also really cringe because, I mean, someone who comes from a very disordered eating past, I see now today, like, you'll have these models or like 5'11" Russian 20-something-year-old, 30-year-old women who have had kids, and they're like, this is what I eat in a day. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not normal. No. And it's really, you know, irresponsible, I think, to share that, especially with people, especially with the 20-somethings or like the new moms that are like, you know, figuring it all out and trying to like get back, that it's just
like, first of all, do you ever get back? Because like my daughter's almost 6, and I'm like, my body is never gonna be that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love my body. I'm fit. I'm strong. Like, you know, that's great. Like, I'm just straight up wider because I don't know, I had a human in me. You know what I mean? Like 100%. My hips, my ribs expanded. Like, I don't think that's ever gonna go back.
I mean, I have about 40 pairs of shoes that I'll never wear again because I'm not a 9 anymore. I'm a 9.5.
Isn't
it's
that
like,
wild?
I don't think so. And it's interesting. I used to say, you know, oh, I'm trying to get my body back. I'm trying to get back to the old Carrie, but it's impossible to be the same person.
You're the new you. You know, even in my business, when they'll like, every once in a while, like someone on my team will like pull a picture, you know, like an older picture, and I'm like, guys, I don't even know who that is. I was like, that was me, like a single girl, like no kid. Like, I was like, you like bleach blonde hair. I'm like, please, like, can we like get in the last 5 years, please?
100%.
It's crazy.
Well, let's talk about this. You have like over 300,000 YouTube subscribers. I have been going on your YouTube, and I don't even know where to begin because you have so much amazing content and workouts. You offer a total body transformation program. Let's dive into this. Tell us about what this is and like your YouTube channel.
So where should we start? Because they're friends. They're like sisters. All right. Well, let's talk about the YouTube channel first. So I have had my YouTube channel since like 2010. You know, so we didn't have Instagram then. Yeah, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just was like, I want to reach more people. I was a Pilates instructor. I wanted to, you know, everything is like, okay, reach more people, build, like share the message, right? And I started on YouTube horribly, you know what I mean? And so imperfectly, you can find them. And like no sound, no light, like awful. And it just started picking up just naturally. And so that was great. But then, you know, I don't think I've ever talked about this publicly. I started getting so bored. I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. You know, I do have my fitness membership, Total Body Transformation. We'll talk about that. But I was also like, it just feels weird to be like, here's 5 minutes, here's like a snippet. I think it's great, like we have all those resources. But I was also like, everyone was like, you have so much more to offer. You have so much more to offer. So about 1.5 years ago, I was like, I'm going to go back to YouTube and take it really seriously, because I was on like an Instagram thing, like, you know, prior to that. And then I was like, let me go back to my roots, you know? And I really focused, and it just, in the best way, blew up.
Wow.
Like we grew over 100,000, you know, subscribers, like really quickly, like 10 months or something. But the best part is it's the community. They're awesome, like awesome women. And I really saw that there was a missing space for a woman of my age, you know, a woman like, you know, generally our audience is like mid 40s to like mid 50s. We do even skew a little bit higher too, but our bulk is in that. So my age group, right? And I feel like there just wasn't that, I don't even know how to describe it. Like it just, like for fashion, it was kind of bad. And I was like, is this what you think over 40 looks like? So you know what I mean? So it's really evolved, and it's very exciting. It's a lot of work, but it's very, very exciting, because what's really landing now, and I'm having so much fun with it, is like beauty content. And I'm like, I'm not like a beauty influencer, but I think it's just, I've always loved trying things. I'm the kind of girl like, oh my God, you have to try this. I've always been that person. So it's just really exciting, and it's amazing. And I do not take it for granted that it's my full-time job, and like that I get to help people and I get to reach people all over the world. It's the best. And I love YouTube. Like I know everyone loves Instagram. YouTube is it?
Well, YouTube loves you.
Yeah, like it's great. And then, you know, my business, so Total Body Transformation. It's so funny. I started it like, I think I was just 40. I didn't have a child. Yeah, I wasn't even married when I first started it. And I was like 30-minute workouts, because like you, very disordered eating in my 20s, former dancer. So I thought if I wasn't working out for 90 minutes, it didn't count.
Yeah.
And so then I started doing 30-minute workouts, and like I had more energy. My body started responding. I was getting leaner. I was getting stronger, like all the things that I wanted. And also I was having more fun.
Yeah.
So then I just started, you know, creating content. And, you know, when I was first started my YouTube channel, I had a Pilates studio in New York. But it was so great to just do something different, do workouts that, you know, I could do. I had a tiny little apartment in Queens, New York, you know, and it was like, I mean, my little area was like half the size of where we are right now. And it's just, again, it's something that I'm just so grateful for, that like it's a place for women to feel at home. I've tried all the other fitness memberships. We have, you know, Pilates-based workouts, yoga-based workout, HIIT workouts, Tabata workouts, but it's really, really geared for that woman over 40 that's like busy. You've got a lot on your plate. Yeah. Maybe you do like me, a Pilates class somewhere else. Maybe you do take a dance class, but you always know that you have a place to move your body. And we even have 10-minute workouts.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty awesome. This is something that, because it doesn't feel like me, it's like its own thing. And I'm like, it's literally the best thing ever. I'm so proud of it. It's
okay.
great.
So like for everyone listening, like say today I go to your website, which is fabulous, by the way, and I sign up for Total Body Transformation. Like what does day one look like? Like what's those initial steps? Because I know people are listening are like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. But you know, just like me, we're busy. It's the end of the year, summer's coming, and we either think, you know, we don't have time to start something new. Like it sounds so convenient, and it just sort of fits into your life. Like what's step one?
So obviously, like once you sign up, we do, which I love, and it's very short. Everything was designed for like, time is my biggest pain point, and I feel like that would be yours too, right?
Yeah, you're not like the 25-year-old fitness influencers. Like everybody has the same 24 hours in a day.
And I was that girl, and it's so embarrassing. I used to also like when moms would be like, "Oh my, why is my kids?" And I'm like, "No, it has to be yours." Now I'm like, I get it. And totally. I mean, it's still for me, but it's like me improving myself for her too, because it's really important. But so you start off, you do a little intake. That's really, it's literally 2 minutes. But we want to know, it's not just like everybody's the same, because everybody is different.
Right.
So what are your fitness goals? What's your fitness level? Like, what do you like? What do you don't like? What injuries do you have? Don't get me started on the YouTube channels that they don't talk. and they just work out, and they're usually like 25. They're adorable. But I'm like, if you're 50, that's the recipe for you like injuring yourself. You should know what you're doing. So you do that, and then you get a customized 1 month plan that you can choose to follow or not, which is amazing. So we lead you through. There's like video trainings, and everything is short, designed like, let me make this easy for you. So we really explain to you how to use the program, how to get the best results, like all of that. And then every single month you have a monthly calendar. So no decision fatigue. Tap it. Oh, but if you don't like today's workout, I don't know. You're like, I have 20 minutes. I want to do strength training and I want some ab works. All the videos. We have over 300 videos that range between 10 minutes to 30. We might have like 1 or 2 rogue ones that ended up being 40 minutes, but that was just, I was probably teaching Pilates and I was like, I'm feeling myself. Let's keep going. You had so
much more energy that day, Tracy.
Yes, but we really do, and it's easy. It's easy. Like there's no feeling bad about missing a day. Like the value is not on like, I gotta do this every day. It's not like one of those crazy programs that I won't say the names, but like that are out there. And it's also, most other fitness memberships have 1 to maximum 2 kinds of workouts. Okay. And at this age, we need to really mix it up because you can get injured like that. And then you're out for a month if you're doing the same crazy thing on your knee. Like, I don't want to do 40 minutes on my knees. I can't even do 40 seconds on my knees at this point, like without like double rolling over my mat. I mean, stuff starts changing. So it's really designed for a woman that's life is full, that wants to look great, that wants to feel great. And you start getting those benefits right away, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. So I'm going to like start now and
transform
myself throughout the summer.
Plus in the summer, like you're busy. There's a million things. You're like kids, vacations. You can do them anywhere. I have workouts in bed.
Oh my God, really?
I had a broken toe last summer. We had one called Broken Toe Pilates. I'm like, there's literally no excuses. So we have a mantra that's, there's always something you can do. And the number one thing is don't guilt yourself and crap all over yourself. Yeah. But move. There's always something that you can do. And even if your workout that day is taking a walk and you're in TBT, you didn't do anything wrong. That's fantastic.
You have such a great mindset. Does that stem from the physical, workouts that you do, or do you do other things to like protect your mental health?
I'd love to say I do, but honestly, for me, I'm such a physical person. Being a former dancer, it's very much like movement changes my mind so much. So like if I do have an injury, you don't want to hang out with me. I'm like bitchy. I'm cranky. Like my husband's just like tiptoeing away from. It's bad. So like I have to move, and it also helps me. Like I think I'm just naturally wired, like a little bit anxious. So working out just keeps me like, okay. I'm good.
So
great.
I want to know what a typical Tracy style morning looks like. Because
Chaos.
you do have a young daughter.
Yes.
She's 5.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone listening, and you're a mom. She's a mom, and she runs a business, and she has tons of energy. I'm looking at her glow right now, and you're glowing. What is it like? What time does Tracy wake up? What are the steps?
Oh man. So the sound machine is like in my ear. My daughter usually comes in our room around like 6:30 or something. So we get our little visitor, and she's adorable. Let's say a school day, chaos. Like that's why like all the like morning routines. I'm like, you don't have a kid or you don't have a young child. My morning routine is like, okay, get my kid dressed, get her downstairs. Like there's zero me time, like zero. So I try, but fail frequently to like take a couple deep breaths before I get started. Now, I like to work out in the morning. So on the days where I don't have Pilates, I do set my alarm earlier, which my daughter hates because she always wants to exercise with me now, but I'm like, it's my time. So I do try and do a 30-minute workout, and I'll get that done in the morning. But then it's chaos. Okay. And getting that workout done, it changes my whole, because then I feel like I'm full. Yeah. I'm more patient. I'm more able to be present with her. I have better energy. So very, very helpful. Some days that doesn't happen though. It's the end of the school year. We're all like just hanging on by a thread. And then once she's off to school, I've delegated. My husband is now the school drop-off guy. I'm like, guess what? Your turn. So then I usually will do a walk, even if it's a day where I don't have Pilates, I'll usually do a walk around for like an hour. I like using a weighted vest.
Your walks are no joke for everyone listening. I actually joined her on a walk about a week ago, and I walk all the time with my weighted vest. I use it on my treadmill. I use it outside. I was dying.
It was very hot.
I was dying. Like, you have a pep in your step, and I just remember sucking down my iced coffee, feeling the sweat running down my back.
I mean, you gotta get it out there.
You need a special name for the weighted vest walk with Tracy. It is.
I love it.
I don't know.
A weighted vest. Yeah. So that's and then like. Some kind of workout. I start my work day usually pretty late, like around like 11.
Okay.
Sometimes 12. Like if it's a day I'm shooting, then but I'd love to tell you I'm meditating. Now, I have supplements so there are supplements that I take in the morning. I take one for energy that I'm obsessed with.
Ooh, what's that?
It's called MTE.
Okay.
It's oh man, I should have brought you some. It's amazing.
MTE.
MTE stands for more than energy.
Okay.
I don't own the company.
Who makes this?
So it's this guy, Jeff Boyd.
Okay.
He's in Austin. Awesome guy.
Okay.
Like, it's a total passion project for him. Saffron based. There's all this research for women in menopause, how amazing it is. The year that I started taking it in August, I literally feel like it gives me clarity. It gives me focus. It's incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Plus it gets me drinking more water because you put it in water.
Oh, okay.
I'm also down with like aminos. Do you do aminos?
No.
I just started.
I need your help, Tracy.
They're great.
Okay.
And it helps because it gives you protein. Again, you're hydrating. So there's the ones I like are Kion. They're great. They taste delicious. So I'm very much like my supplement, game. I'm on HRT. We can talk about that. So that helps too.
Okay. You know what I'm going to do is I want to link a lot of things that you use and recommend. None of this is sponsored. I don't have any kind of sponsored post. I literally am looking at a woman who is glowing from head to toe and is physically fit and has a lot of energy, guys. So I just want to know everything that
it
she
helps.
takes.
But those two, I think that's like a good 1-2 punch.
Okay.
Because also you're drinking water, but it like gives you like what you need, which is great.
Okay. Wow. I want to know it.
Yeah.
So I love that you say that sometimes your workday doesn't even start till like 11 or noon.
Yeah.
So you really make your physical well-being a priority.
100%.
Okay.
I can't, like Monday, it's funny, I like doing walk and talks with friends because I don't know about you, but like as a mom, my husband's always like on the phone, like on the couch. And I'm like, and sometimes it's work, sometimes it's like, when was the last time you like had a chat with a friend for like an hour?
Yeah.
Like never. Like
Never.
Moms don't get that luxury, but I will do a walk and talk.
Yeah.
So like if I want to catch up with a friend or something, but I don't like doing them on Mondays because Mondays I feel like I'm prepping for the week. I got to get myself together. I need to just and I'm listening to, by the way, not motivational stuff, not educational stuff because I love all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to Giggly Squad.
Really?
Which is, do you know the Giggly Squad?
Yes.
I love I love a funny podcast. Not always Giggly Squad, but I listen to like comedy, like things that make me laugh.
I love that.
Yeah, because I think we can get too into like always learning, always improving. Which is what I definitely was like in my 40s, and now I'm like, I want to start my day cracking up and just like hearing girls be silly, and it just feels good.
I love that you say that. I actually, I was interviewing a guest a couple months ago, and he was like, he's in the nonfiction, sort of like wellness, self-help. He's like, I don't read I don't read anyone else. I don't listen to anyone else's podcast unless it has nothing to do with what I do, because one, I don't want to copy their voice or be influenced, but two, he's like, I want to laugh. I want to like learn other things that's not in my space. And I have found you do sort of get burnt out. So like I've been reading a lot of like thriller fiction lately, listening to other podcasts. I'm actually gonna Giggly Squad.
Giggly Squad, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it's like acquired, but they're like, I love reality TV, so they're like from reality. They're also like very inspiring.
Yeah.
Their business has just exploded. It's amazing.
So you're pretty structured, like your schedule.
Yeah. Have to.
You have to be.
Have to. I mean, the window, the window is short. It gets shorter, like I was like messaging like someone on my team this morning, and I was like, so basically tomorrow I'm completely not available. Like we can have a meeting at 9:00, but like you're on your own. Questions. Like I just, my daughter's school, it's a lot.
I love that. Yeah, I need to get more structured and stick with it because like you would cringe. Like I probably haven't worked out in 2 weeks because I keep overloading my schedule, and I need to start. I want to be
gotta
that
get
woman.
it done first.
I want to make that. Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
health. Like I have
Yeah.
to make it my priority.
So even if it's like after the kids, leave for school, then it's like, okay, 30 minutes. That's all
Yeah.
you need. That's
all you
literally
need.
all you need. The research also shows that that's actually more beneficial for women over 40.
Yeah.
Is doing shorter more
workouts.
effective. Yeah. You get more impact.
Well, you mentioned HRT. Let's talk about, how old are you?
I'm 50.
Okay, so you're 50 and obviously thriving.
Thank you.
What is your perspective on aging, and how do you want more women to embrace it?
First of all, yay, aging is a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift. I want to be alive. Now that I have my daughter, I'm 125, cognitively well,
Yeah.
physically fit. I don't want to be a burden on her, and my husband is the complete opposite of me. Red wine, red meat, no exercise. He's that guy. So I'm at least one of us has to,
Opposites attract, they say.
they for sure do. He's awesome, but not my client. So yeah, I think aging is an absolutely gift. I think it's something to be proud of. I also realized that when I was younger, I was a dancer, and then I did some commercial work, acting stuff. And I would go on auditions, and I was probably 24, and they would tell me to lie about my age. They'd be like, say you're 19. Okay, you're 19. And I'd be like, okay, and I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm also this is bullshit. Who cares what my age is? So that I think once I stopped doing that, I was very, when I was single, when I was I don't know, in my mid to late 30s, people were always oh my God, it's so weird that you say your age. I'm what am I gonna do, lie to you? That's my age. So I think it's really something to be proud of, and we get to decide what that looks like, what that feels like. You want to go gray, you want to dye your hair, you want to get Botox, you don't, I just, it's interesting being someone on YouTube. A lot of people have a lot of opinions,
Yes.
right? And I'm it's funny. So one of the biggest compliments is people will be you're exactly the same.
Yeah.
You look the same, you act the same, you're the same. I'm
Yeah.
who's got time to lie? You know what I mean? Who the hell has time to lie?
I mean, honestly,
sure
I was
don't.
looking through all your videos, and I was wait, this was 9 years ago?
Yeah.
How's that 9 years ago?
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, the proof is in your pudding.
I hope the quality is better. We've improved the quality.
No, I'm just saying, I'm looking at the information and what you're
thank
doing,
you.
and I'm oh my gosh, you really do look the same.
Yeah, thank you.
From 10 years ago.
But it's funny. I think in the last, I would say 3 years or so, skincare is I am passionate about
Yeah.
it. And I used to be super, super simple, but now I'm gua shaing, I'm doing all the things,
Yeah.
it's a big thing. But HRT I'm a huge fan.
Okay, so
Huge fan.
what got you onto that path?
So after I had my daughter, I did IVF. So we did 5 rounds of IVF,
Okay.
through my 40s. So we started when I was 40, and that's not easy on your body.
Yeah.
I am very grateful. I think because of my healthy choices, it wasn't that bad. I didn't gain a ton of weight. You definitely get a little bloated, a little tender, but
Yeah.
it was fine. But after I had my daughter, I just after she was about 6 months old, and I had help, so it wasn't I should feel this way. I every day by 3 o'clock, I was I am dead.
Yeah.
I just had nothing in me. And it almost was I felt dehydrated from the inside. Just this, it's very hard to describe, but I felt blah.
Yeah.
I was I don't care about anything. I just felt so blah. So I started working with a doctor that really specializes in hormones and HRT, and really started diving into that. And she put me on hormones, and I was what a difference. More
Okay.
energy, feeling body composition was going back to what I wanted, more clarity, mental health, less brain fog. Sleeping,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I used to get up at 3 a.m, and I would just be listening to my husband snore. I mean, I'm still listening to him snore,
Sorry,
but at least I'm
husband.
sleeping. Yeah, I know. He knows.
Hope he doesn't listen to this. He's why are you throwing me under
No,
the bus
I
that?
love him. He's a great guy. He snores. He's a snorer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so interesting. I've heard so many people say once they started doing HRT, they stopped feeling crazy. Even as far as saying like, I almost wanted a divorce. It wasn't my husband. It was the way,
Totally. I mean, I had like
things.
rage in moments. And then the for me, the weirdest thing was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about anything. Like, I was like, this isn't me at all. Like, I was like, something's up. And I thought like, oh, is it mental? Like, I've never really struggled much with like mental health stuff. And so then, I was like, oh, wow, I feel like me again. Like, it's great. And it really helps, like your hair, your skin, heart health, brain health. Yeah. There were studies in the 90s, that really were like, oh, estrogen's not, causes cancer. Listen, I'm very much like, I'm not a doctor. Yeah. I think everyone should do what they feel comfortable with. My experience has been extremely positive.
Wow.
Extremely positive.
Yeah, I'm on that journey now. I just did all the labs and I have an appointment next week.
Oh, good. We'll have to talk. I'm curious.
Yeah, and I might also throw some peptides in there too.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I do so much other stuff like with my skin and anti-aging. Mm-hmm. I'm like, the face and the head's got to match the rest.
I know.
Plus, I also just want to have like the clarity and the energy, and coffee's not cutting it anymore.
No. And the other thing is like, how lucky are we that these things are available?
Yeah, 100%.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Like. My mom, I've been in menopause like 2.5 years. It would be like, oh, she's going through the change. Like it was like this like hush hush thing, and it's like it's completely normal. Yeah, like we're all gonna go through it, just like aging.
100%.
Let's talk about it.
Speaking of aging, so what's your like number one skincare must? Like, if someone's in their 20s listening now, 30s or 40s, like what is the number one to like protecting your skin?
Well, sunscreen. Sunscreen is it, right? And I think, it's not lost on me that I lived in New York, for most of my life. Because I definitely feel like since living in Miami, I'm like, oh, there's some sun damage. Here.
I like how you say it so fancy.
Yes.
It sounds less scary.
Exactly. And like my forehead, I'll notice it in videos like, oh, she's got a little sunny sun. But sunscreen is key. You know what I mean? Wearing sunscreen. Hydration is really key. I get Botox. Some people have opinions about that. I don't like. I'm like, oh, watch this video. I tell you everything I do, which quite honestly isn't much for a 50-year-old. Like, I've had 2 facials in my entire life. Yeah. Wow. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I'm not very big on treatments because I just don't have time.
You don't have time.
But and like my skincare routine right now is a little wild. Like it's wild, but I'm a big fan of like antioxidants. Yeah. Like a vitamin C, or like there's another one that I like that's like plant-based. And I've used that for years, and I think that really, really helps, and it's often ignored. Yeah. We want to talk about retinols and tretinoins and, but like less is more.
Less is more.
And you got to protect your skin because like, I see these younger, don't even get me started with the Sephora kids.
Oh my gosh. No, 100%. And my daughter, she's like, I don't want to be left out. I'm like, okay, you can buy those body sprays, but just so you know, they mess with your endocrine system. So you're allowed to spray it like on your shirt. Yeah. And go walk away while you're brushing your teeth. And then it's on the outside. Those are not to touch your skin.
No.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is wild. Well, you have literally just, mentally, emotionally, physically, you got a strong game.
Thanks, babe.
If, is there anything that you would sort of say, like, to the little Tracy that has made you just so proud of yourself? If you could go back to little Tracy right now.
Oh, my goodness. I would just say you're enough and, like, dream big, I really, not to, like, crap on, like, where I grew up is beautiful, but, like, it just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And I really think that even from a really young age, I just wanted like a big life. I wanted to like create, like this abundance of a life, that's, just with like a lot of freedom. Freedom has always, that's why I wanted to start my own business. I was like, I don't want someone to tell me when to come in and, ask my parents. I never liked being told what to do. So I think that was like a big, and so, like dream big, you're enough, and just go for all the things that you want. And
just go for it.
Yeah.
And how do you instill that in your own daughter now?
Oh, girl. Like, okay, so my like parenting hack, I think it's like truly positive brainwashing. That is like, I stand behind that. I'm like, I don't know if that's right, but that's what I do. So we do affirmations every night before she goes to sleep. And she loves them, you know, she's strong. My daughter is very strong, and it's great, but we talk about things, you know, I just think parenting now, it's so wildly different, you know, and, you know, there's positives and negatives too, you know, like I grew up like playing in the woods, you know what I mean? Like, which is beneficial, you know, like imagination, there were no screens or, you know, it's just very different, right? We also were given a lot of freedom, possibly too much. I don't know, you know, but, I just want her to feel heard. I want her to always know like your opinion matters. You were heard, you know, that doesn't mean I'm always going to say yes, but you know, you have a voice, and I want you to, even if it's me, like if you don't agree with me, you can tell me. Yeah. You know, and I'll say, okay, well, this is why, you know.
Yeah. I love that. It's communication. I mean, my daughter's 10, and I know that there's like some topics here and there, probably started a couple months ago, that she's asking me about, and they would make me so uncomfortable. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I ignore this? Or how do I not talk about this? She's too young. And then I realized one day, it's because nobody talked to me about those things. Totally. That's why I'm so uncomfortable. Totally. So then I flipped the script. Yep. I may have asked like ChatGPT, like how to approach the situation. And then one evening,
my best friend?
I know. Oh my gosh. But I just like every night when like she's laying in bed, like I check in with her, we talk about things, and especially the uncomfortable stuff, because the last thing I want her to do is to be scared or to hear it from someone else who's some 10-year-old friend that's watching YouTube or watching, you know, social media, trying to educate my daughter on, you know, things about life. So it's interesting.
It's wild.
And it is scary.
But it is scary. It's all of those things. And I also think, look, giving ourselves the grace sometimes of being like, that's like Lucci, my daughter, like she now, whenever she asks me a question, goes, was that a good question? Because I guess I always go, what a great question, you know? Like I'm always, again, positive brainwashing. But like sometimes if I don't know, like I think it's great to say, you know what, that's a great question, and let's talk about that tomorrow. You know, like that's like, I love this question. I want to like give you the right answer. Like, let's talk about this tomorrow, you know, like not maybe at 10 o'clock at night when you're wanting to go to sleep, right? But also like, that gives us the pause to kind of gather our thoughts. We don't have to be like immediate, you know, which I think is good for them too. Like, okay, we're going to have a chat, maybe take a walk, or, you know, like even my daughter will do like an evening stroll sometimes after dinner. It's so cute.
I love that. Yeah. It's a good time to connect too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, with a daughter, and coming from some disordered eating background, which I can relate to as well. How do you approach, do you any, like sometimes when my daughter's doing something, I get so like triggered, like, oh no. And then I realize it's something totally normal. I just am so hyper.
I know, same. I'm
you know,
exactly
so I have to like tell myself to chill the F out and just like let it play out. Yeah. You know, right now she's like so into like weighing herself. She's so into like how tall is she growing and her weight, because she wants to be tall. She also is like an avid tennis player that plays like 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. Yeah. So one time the doctor said to her like, oh Noah, you lost a pound. You can't be losing weight at this age. You have to make sure you're getting your protein and blah, blah, blah. But she loves to weigh herself, and weighing triggers me so much. I don't weigh myself. So like sometimes I'm just like, that's enough. You don't need to weigh yourself. You know, when we go to the doctor, you'll get your weight. But how do you manage coming from your past and having a daughter, and there being normal questions, not getting triggered like, oh my God, is body dysmorphism or an eating disorder?
First of all, it's such a great question, and I'm so, like you, hyper aware of it. Like, we don't even have a scale. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know
why we have a scale.
I would honestly
throwing it away.
Throw out the scale. Okay. Like, truly, like, why? You know what I mean?
I don't even know why we have it.
The hotel rooms, that's the only time she'll see one, is like, oh, what's this? And then it's like, that then makes it like, wow, you're getting so strong. You're getting, you know what I mean? So I'm not a scale girl. But, you know, I'm very aware of her eating healthy food, you know, and I think now it is pervasive. You know, everything has so much sugar, colors, crap in it. And so, you know, I talked to her about nutrition. Like there's a little chocolate, I forget, I think it's the Unreal brand, and they're 3 grams of sugar. Yeah. Okay. So we get those sometimes, and she'll go, "Mommy, can I have the 3 grams?" She like calls it that. Like, so I tell her like some things are sometimes food. So we do talk about that, but the body image stuff, I am so aware. And I grew up with a mother who, was not aware. It was just a different time, So she was always like on a diet, talking poorly about herself,
Yeah.
And forget about like the media.
Oh yeah.
Everything was, do you remember like, can you pinch an inch and like all that crap, like the 80s and 90s? So bad. And then even the early 2000s. So I'm very, very aware of how like, mommy exercise because I want to be strong. I want to have energy. I never would look in the mirror and like point out flaws or perceive flaws. So I'm just very, very aware of that. But my daughter, she goes to an all-girls school, and that, historically can be trickier when it comes to body image as they're older. So I think just making sure that she has a really good foundation. I will be showing up at that school talking to all the girlies, you know what I mean? Like I really, as she gets older, I'm sure I'll be like more involved and like.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like when you have access to them and they're over for sleepovers and things like that, you can just start planting little seeds in the friend group.
Yeah. It's important.
It's so important. You've shared so many important things today. As we wrap up, I just want to do like, what's one summer movement workout tip?
I would say it's more like a type. I think any woman that's over 40, like Tabata is doing 20 seconds of like intensity. It doesn't have to be fast, but like 20 seconds of a movement and then 10-second rest.
Okay.
And the reason why that's so helpful is the recovery is sort of built in. So you're getting more bang for your buck for that workout.
Okay.
And like in TBT, we do a lot, almost everything is like compound movements.
Okay.
Again, I'm lazy and I don't have time. Do you know what I mean? That's really, at the end of the day, it's like, I want to like, okay, how can I maximize the little pocket of time I have? So I would say like Tabata workouts for the win. Plus anybody can do anything for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 20
100%.
seconds. So that's my Tabata for summer 2025.
I love it.
Yeah.
Listen,
people don't talk about it enough.
I'm
good stuff.
totally signing up for the Total Body Transformation Program. I need that.
I hope you do.
And then your one skincare, hot tip for summer skincare.
Summer skincare. Okay, less is more. Less is more. Like I'm wearing like a tinted serum. Like you have gorgeous glowing skin. Like sunscreen. We want to, and we want to see your skin. So don't think like with little wrinkles, you're actually like doing a disservice by putting on more, like I get it. Some people might have rosacea or whatever. Yeah. Like I get it. Each person is different, but less is more. The more you can shine and like smoke and mirrors. Highlighter is a girl's best friend.
I love it. Okay. And for all of the women with businesses and going after your dreams, what's a tip?
Consistency. Consistency. People are too ready to give up, especially in this age of social media. I have been on YouTube for 15 years. Wow. 15 years. Not like, it wasn't always like once a week and now we do twice a week, but like literally, like if I gave up, I always, when I started my business, was like, I could wait tables. Like I could, like if shit went down, I could wait tables. I've never, and I was a great waitress. I was a fantastic waitress. I did it for many, many years. But like consistency, like results don't happen overnight. Virality also doesn't happen overnight. Like you post, and then it's like, you don't know what's going to hit.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is like being connected to your mission.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? And you know what? Because if your mission is likes and followers, that's fleeting and that's going to probably burn you out. But if you're like, I want to help people, I want to, and really knowing who is that person that you're trying to reach, why are you doing this? It makes it easier to show up every day and stay committed.
I love it. Consistency.
It ain't sexy, but it works.
It works though. It works with everything. And lastly, part of your legacy is being, your motherhood and to your daughter. So what is one momming tip?
deep breaths, patience, you know, and also like for me, my daughter right now is so little that like she's so much like me. Like she's a little like bundle of joy, loves dancing, loves like performing, loves like putting on outfits and like looking in the mirror and like, you know, doing all this stuff. She's like a little like weirdo, like I, you know, in the best sense, in the best sense. And so like sometimes when I'm getting like frustrated or feel like, come on, it's like, she's 5. Let her be 5, you know, like let her be 5. Like I was like wild in the woods when I was, you know, with my sister and like friends, you know, like let her be 5.
Yeah, I love that. Sometimes when I'm about to lose my shit, I just look at their hands and I'm like, they're so small.
I know.
And then I take a deep breath.
Oh my God. I want to say I look at her little butt. Little tiny butt, it's this big.
Oh my gosh, and it brings you to where your feet are and then you're like, okay.
Yes, that's a good idea, the hands. I'm going to start doing that.
This episode is loaded. I am going to link so many products. I'm going to have to get all of your recommendations from supplements to HRT to your YouTube channel and your total body transformation program.
Yes.
So for everyone listening, don't worry, everything will be linked. And Tracy, I just want to thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
I'm actually going to go take off these clothes, wash my face, and go work out.
Yes!
I'm excited.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Surviving Roots. I hope it gave you something meaningful to carry with you. Let's keep this conversation going. Find me on Instagram at carrie.fund, where I'll share more from the show. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs it. And remember, we are the choices that we make.